You're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you very much, Umar Sanda.
Talk to us about the grand launch or the grand measure today.
I like the rhythm of grand because it is a turning point, really, in the politics of Ghana. What it is that it's an alliance of several movements and political parties, chief among them being the Movement for Change, led by, as you are aware, Alan Chematin, Alan Cash. And then the National Interest Movement, led by Dr. Abusakara Foster, Ghana First Coalition, Bishop Dr. Samuel Noy-Mensah, and then Aposia DK is also involved, Union Government. You didn't mention his name.
I actually didn't know the full detail of who and who have joined you. So kindly share with us who else. DK is joining you.
Yeah, DK is a signatory to the alliance. And it's an open-ended process. As we speak, more and more people are coming on board. Essentially, the alliance offers
currently you have, of course, the Movement for Change. You are the mega brand. Then you have the NIM, National Interest Movement of Dr. Sakara. That's two. You have ODK's group. What's the name of his political party?
Union Government.
Yes.
ODK Union Government.
So that's three. Which other groups joined you?
The Ghana First Coalition.
Okay.
We have the Ghana National Party.
Okay.
We have the Ghana Green Party.
I see.
We have the Third Force Movement. We have the Non-Aligned Voters of Ghana. Mm-hmm. And then we have individuals, including Mr. Henry Asante, who is the National Second Vice Chairman of PNC, and Mr. Wilson, Emmanuel Wilson, who Crusaders Against Corruption, and others who are in the queue to sign, and therefore will have their names out very soon.
I see. So you have become a movement plus.
We are open-ended, and the more people who can come on board, the better. Because that's the essence of what we are doing, bringing together like-minded people who want to move beyond the duopoly of MPP and DC.
The Third Force movement you talked about, is that the Cheddar group?
No. This is Third Force movement is represented in Ghana at the moment by Mrs. Augustina Kujo Yagakuma. Engineer Julius is in Australia. He founded the Third Force movement. It's a very strong movement on the ground. That's not Cheddar's movement.
I see. My attention has been drawn that Cheddar is new force. So yes, this is Third Force. Right. What does it mean when a political organization like the ones you've mentioned, like ODK's party, for instance, decides to join you? Does it mean they cease to be parties and they've decided that they will join with you and take your shape and your colors, or they will keep being the parties that they are, but they would work with you in an alliance? How is the merger supposed to be like?
The second aspect of your question, it's a very important question.
So it's not an acquisition, it's a merger.
We are not merging. That means we are not losing our individual identities. If you merge, then everybody loses their identity. They will maintain their identity, but we are in an alliance around a common purpose. And the alliance has endorsed Mr. Alan Chematin as the presidential candidate. So the Alliance for Revolutionary Change is a grouping, and it is still open for many others to join, of like-minded people who are after changing the current political situation. So like you said, nobody is losing their core identity. However, they all subscribe to the ideals of the Alliance for Revolutionary Change, and the alliance has endorsed Mr. Chematin as the presidential candidate. Mr. Chematin is going to continue to campaign on the platform of the Movement for Change. He will be the candidate of the alliance, but he will campaign as the Movement for Change, the leader and founder of the Movement for Change. So it's a joint effort, but nobody is losing their identity.
So you mentioned something about revolution. Which one is going to be the group that you identify with henceforth? Is it going to be a Movement for Change or the Alliance for Revolution? I'm not clear on that.
The Alliance for Revolutionary Change is a canopy. I hesitate to use umbrella since our opponents use an umbrella. It's a canopy under which everybody with an ideal to move beyond the duopoly is welcome. Individuals, political entities, movements, political parties, we are working very hard to bring everybody together under this canopy. And that canopy is the Alliance for Revolutionary Change, because we believe that there must be revolutionary change, peaceful, lawful revolutionary change in this country. The way we run our governance, the ideals we espouse as Ghanaians, and the vision of where we want to go. It's so important that we have real, genuine change. And this group has endorsed Mr. Alan John Kwajuche Martin as their presidential candidate. They are all going to campaign for him. But the symbol he will use and will continue to use is that of the Movement for Change.
Who would be using? Is there going to be a logo or an emblem representing the Alliance Revolution? We're not going to have that.
We will have the name is a description of the group. It's not a merger.
So it's not going to be a logo that you're going to outdoor. Okay. Are you going to have these other parties that have joined you still keep their logos and emblems in place? Because then there will be a clash of identities, wouldn't there?
There will not be a clash. The fact that you have your party identity and yet you're working for the advancement of the presidency, the independent presidency of Mr. Chematin, means that if your logo used to be green, you go into the field with green and yellow. Because there'll
be a lot of confusion on the field.
That's what you are assuming. But all of these parties are not going to be fighting for themselves. They have an identity, but they will be fighting through that identity for the advancement of Mr. Chematin as the first independent president of the Republic of Ghana. It's a model that we believe can work.
I see.
Because you don't want a situation where at this time you are going in to set up an entirely new process where everybody loses their identity. It's not ideal.
Which means then that they are not going to sponsor presidential candidates.
No. There's only going to be one presidential candidate for the Alliance for Revolutionary Change.
Is there an agreement on who is going to be running mates based on the coalition?
No, that will come.
Any of the persons penciled for that?
Those processes are all scheduled. So the announcements will come in due course.
You were in the MPP in 96 when Kufuor led the Great Alliance. Is that a similar thing you're doing?
I would rather not do any comparisons with the MPP.
No, because I'm looking at the success. I'm looking at the success of that alliance. Yeah, I'm looking at the success of that alliance to use to judge how your alliance is going to perform now.
Yes, it was also a loose alliance. And then the NDC had a progressive alliance. That one too was loose because none of them changed their identity, if you recall. They had the alliance, they had the name covering the group of parties who came together. But none of the parties changed their name to that of the alliance only. They maintained their party identities, but the Progressive Alliance fell in behind Chema Rawlings, President Rawlings, to become their candidate. And then the Great Alliance fell in behind then candidate Kufuor.
Okay. Now, if you're going to have an alliance, why didn't you wait to form the alliance and let the alliance elect a flag bearer? Why do you already have a flag bearer before you create the alliance? Is that not an imposition of a candidate on the alliance?
No, it's part of the process. Signatories to the alliance believe that we are combining our forces, our energies, to give a genuine tilt at securing executive authority in this country to effect the reforms that will lead us towards the promised land. Constitutional reforms, all other reforms. Mr. Chematin is not a marginal candidate. He brings value, gravitas, and certain kind of vision to the alliance. The alliance also comes with numbers. So you have numbers that meet gravitas. It's a value situation where everybody is coming together with their niche value. And it's those niche values combined that will give us the power to secure the executive authority of the country. So there's nothing like an imposition on anybody. It's a process that has been going on. You recall that the big announcement was literally announced earlier, if you recall. The big announcement,
yes.
Notice of the big, yes, it was, and these negotiations, these understandings have been forged carefully. So everybody appreciates the situation, that what you need is a dominant political figure who will lead this process, known in character of integrity, known with a vision, known with an impeccable record. And then you have the numbers in groups and political groupings, smaller parties, individual personalities who by themselves may not be able to achieve executive authority to ensure the transformation that they all see. So if you bring them all together and you have a personality, a powerful personality like Mr. Chematin in the lead, it simply adds value, it adds strength, it adds credibility, it adds viability to the process that has been undertaken. So the alliance is taking off on the front foot very strongly. It's already selected and endorsed this presidential candidate. Voters beyond the duopoly and give ourselves the relief of another political grouping developing the means by which we can move our country forward.
So what next for Movement for Change and this alliance as well?
We've launched today. So next, of course, is that we are going to continue campaigning vigorously. And then, as I said, all the other structures follow. Vice presidency, announcements of various things as they go on. But we are campaigning.
Very well. We wish you all the best, and thank you so much for speaking to us.
I'm very grateful. Thank you, too.
That's